Well, there it is, about an hour in, got her stripped down. This thing's been sitting outside for at least 10 years. And I'm not sure what to do with it, but I'm just gonna spiff it up and I don't know. Well, after a 10-year slumber sitting under an old tree, I got her ripped down. Time to just kind of clean things up and see what I have here. Well, I used the trusty Kubota to kind of tip that pan up and get some of the rust out. There's a U-Blast It place about a half hour from here, so I went and rented a booth for a few hours and just did a light pass on it. Here's some internet stuff that I found on the Desert Fox. Phoenix, Arizona. That's a good looking buggy right there. Corvair powered. So I've been wanting to do a fiberglass dune buggy for quite some time, and this one, just by chance, I found under a tarp just down the road. I could just see the front corner of this old blue tattered tarp, and I drove by it for a lot of weeks, and then the guy was outside. So one day I just stopped and we struck up a conversation. He didn't even know what it was. He got it, and this was the pan, and it had parts of a motor, and as you can see in the earlier photos, it was pretty trippy looking. And I just dug it. I liked the waterfall console and the mid-year Corvette styling on the front. And I asked him if he'd want to sell it. And he said, sure, I'll sell it. But he goes, I know what these things go for on eBay. And I'm like, okay, here it comes. And he said he wanted $150 for it. Hang on. $150. So I said, okay, that's going to work for me. I went and got my trailer and we loaded it up. And I stuck it under a tree in my backyard for the next 10 months. And I just busted it out. So anyway, the pan itself has been replaced with some heavy gauge, probably, it's quite heavy, maybe 14 gauge. I don't think it's 12 gauge, and it looked pretty good. But it had just a piece of like angle iron welded, and I don't believe that this body was ever really fastened to this chassis properly because it didn't have any mounting holes. So I just cut that piece of angle iron off, and I went to my local scrap yard and bought some 1x3 rectangle tubing, cleaned it all up, and I set the body back on, and I knew right where the body met the frame, and I went ahead and just kind of tacked it in. So now the body fits really good to the frame right there. What would work super good is if I had a bicycle box and a great big piece of cardboard, but this is all I could find because I'm just kind of getting started on this project. I'm maybe a few weeks into it, and I really don't have the supplies. I'm going to have to get some fiberglass resin and some fiberglass cloth and stuff. My dad had a boat company as a kid, so I've been around fiberglass. I haven't done a lot of it, but I think I can figure it out. So there, we're just gonna kind of mock up a side pod. One thing cool about cardboard is you can shear it in your stomp shear. Just kind of square that end up and square this end up. Just like that. Boy, that is a lousy piece of cardboard. So this is just a rough, very rough. I'll have to get better cardboard. Obviously, the tape's not sticking. I just want to see what it looks like filled in, and then maybe bring this radius down. It might be a little long, and then it will probably kind of get rolled inward a little bit. like something like that. Just to kind of, that looks okay. Oh, there goes my clamp. One thing about cardboard, it's made from wood, so you can cut it in a bandsaw. Pretty slick. Been cutting cardboard on bandsaw for years. All right, let's see if this has any better look than the previous. It's not too bad. Man, I wish I had another squishy clamp, pinchy clamp there. How does that radius look? Very rough, but I can kind of see a vision of it kind of rolls underneath and it fills out this area. It makes it look a little bit more sports car. Now this Desert Fox was actually a dune buggy, and they had talked about using it on IMSA racing. Here's the other side with it open. I don't know. Can't get a very good view of that. It's weird right in there. I think it looks a little cleaner with that. Yes, I think so. And there would actually, I'm not going to actually bond it to there. I thought to have a body line there, a real nice fitted body line right there. It's got an old swing axle. It seemed to shift good, so I just wire brushed it up good. I'm not rebuilding anything. I'm just gonna cosmetically make it nice because it's just not worth it to me to dump a ton of money into it. I just want to, get it going and have some fun with it. I did buy another donor vehicle to get that motor right there. It's a good running 1600. It's got the big valves, brand new heads, and a bunch of stuff, and it was $2,000, which is more than I wanted to spend. But the donor vehicle is sitting right out here, and it's kind of a Baja style bug with a lot of good parts on it. Let's open the door here. It's right here. So it's a 74 Super Beetle, and it is in fair condition, but I bought it for the motor. It's full of parts. So I might keep it. I might sell it. I actually bought it to get the title too, but I'm not sure if it's just kind of too nice to cut up. It's got brand new wheels on it. But anyway, that was the donor vehicle for the motor. Over the years, lots of cutting. Somebody cut this. This would have been full. This back seat, I believe what I want to do is cover it and have a trunk because it'll just be two of us in here. I chiseled out the factory seat rails because I want to sit down in this thing really low so I can have a very short windshield and then possibly a top. I'm not sure. Of course, this will be going away from one of my Crafty Bee custom gas caps. It'll have a custom logo on it. But all in all, it's weird. It's ugly. It's cool. Yeah. It's getting there. I think I'm onto something. I think that might just work. Anyway, that's the progress on the 1964 Desert Fox Scorpion LT.